Hi, I'm Louise from Jumpstart into Primary School Dance, and these are my 5 top tips for selecting music for your dance class. Teachers ask me all the time about where I get my music from. I really enjoy finding the right tracks for my classes, and children have a great response to the tracks that I have used. So I thought I'd just make all those notes into this video so it can help you with your music selection. So tip number 1 is to use music that you like. If you like it, the kids will like it too. If you choose something you're a bit bored by and not interested in, then that's how it will come across, and the kids will feel that too. So choose music you like, so start with your own music collection. From this, I've been to my own music collection and I have used things like Leftism, which is by Left Field, some of the Chemical Brothers albums. Push the Button is a really good one. Voixop and their album Melody AM. Daft Punk and their album Homework. So all of those albums, really funky, quite current, but not poppy. There's no dance associated with it. They probably won't know the words. So they tend to work really well in your classes. So tip number 1 is to use music you like. Number 2, listen to music everywhere you go to be inspired. Listen to the radio. I put the radio on all the time, and I'm always picking up ideas. I listen to Radio 2, Radio 1, 6 Music, so I'm always making notes of the music that I've listened to, so I can incorporate it into my classes. To help me with that, I use something called Shazam, which is an app on my phone, so hopefully you can see that, that's Shazam. When you hear the music, you press this and it will listen to it. When it's heard enough of it, it will then listen to it in the archives, and it will tell you exactly who did it and what the name of the song is. So I use that app quite a lot. Also, sometimes on the TV, on the adverts, they use brilliant music. You think, oh, that sounds fantastic. Sometimes I use Shazam for that. And sometimes I just Google it and put in music used for the Sony Bravia TV ad, and then it will come up with Jose Gonzalez. I bought the Jose Gonzalez album and it's brilliant. It's just quite relaxing, atmospheric, and it works really well in my dance classes. Likewise, there used to be a Guinness advert with the horses pounding along the sea. That was a Left Field track, which I didn't know, called Fat Planet. So again, I just researched that, and then I've used it a lot in my classes, and in fact that one goes down really well, particularly with Key Stage 2, Year 5, Year 6. So tip number 2 is to listen to music all the time. Number 3, choose songs from your film soundtracks. So I use music from films like Amélie. Amélie is fantastic. It's French, and it's got an accordion playing in it. It's quite upbeat, but it's something that the children won't be familiar with. I use Amélie soundtrack all the time, so that's really, really good. Also, you can use films like The Matrix, because it's quite funky and uplifting, and they've obviously already been designed to create a certain atmosphere, so incorporate that in your classes. I would just suggest, though, on that point, not to use music from really current films that the children know, because they've already got those associations either with a Disney film or a particular plot. And if you're doing creative dance, you want them to be thinking about what you're focusing on that session. So just choose film soundtracks that you think are atmospheric and are going to help create the mood for your dance. So that's tip number 3, use film soundtracks. Tip 4 is to go cultural. Look out all the time for different music from different countries, because it just creates an atmosphere. It's educating them in different countries, and they just really, really help. I use a lot of African drumming in my classes, even when I'm not doing African dance. And an album that's really useful is called Percussion Around the World, and it's got like 20 odd countries on there, and it's all just percussion, so there's no vocals or lyrics on there. Some are fast, some are slow, and I use that all the time. So tip number 4 is to go cultural. And finally, tip number 5 is to go into the past and look back, particularly over the last 100 years, in terms of the popular music that people used to enjoy dancing to in the past. So I use things like soul bossa nova, which is the funky music from the Austin Powers soundtrack. Jive Bunny created like a big mix of 1950s and 1940s music called Swing the Mood. That works really well. I use things like Choo 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 Boogie, which is a Louis Armstrong track. I use some Charleston music, some jive music, and even when I'm not doing those styles of dance, it just creates a different atmosphere and really enhances the nature of the session. So my tip number 5 is to choose music from the past. I hope these tips have helped you. If you would like any other advice on music for your classes, please get in touch with me. Obviously all the music that you find can be found on iTunes, or you can just identify it on Spotify. You can go buy it on a CD. There's lots of different ways that you can purchase your music. Thanks, bye.